I think before my thing was, is he hot? Is he like
I mean, we still want him to be hot, Jasmine.
There's
No,
nothing wrong with being hot.
nothing
Nothing wrong with it.
hot. That could be the only thing.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fried Green Avocados. As always, I'm your host, Elisa Vitalo, and today I'm joined by two of my besties currently out of New York, Jasmin and Tamanna. I'm excited to have you both on the show because today we're going to be talking about dating over 40. And man, we obviously have a lot of experience with this, and there's a lot to talk about on the subject. But what I really want to focus on is how what we want out of dating has changed now that we're a little bit older, what our experiences have been like trying to find what we're looking for now, and then, of course, tackling some of the common topics that we always hear about, the apps and the gender divide, and really if people even know how to date anymore. To get us started, I always like to start every episode with a few facts and figures that I find. So what I found most recently is a study from Pew Research. According to them, about 25% of all people over the age of 40 have never been married. Now, in 1980, that number was about 6%. And that doesn't mean that those people aren't partnered. It just means they've never formally been married. So to go from 6% in 1980 to 25% in 2025, I feel is a pretty dramatic shift societally. Yeah. And what we see is that the percentage of people who are unpartnered is actually a little bit higher than that. So according to Pew, 29% of all people ages 40 to 54 are unpartnered. And when you look at gender, that's 31% of women ages 40 to 54 and 28% of men. That means basically 1 in 3 women our age don't have a partner. I don't know about you guys. Honestly, that makes me feel a little better. I feel like society makes it seem like being unpartnered or never married in your 40s is this really uncommon thing, but that's obviously not the case anymore. If a quarter of the population has never been married and roughly a third of the population isn't partnered, that to me doesn't feel like such an anomaly. And I don't know if that's how you guys feel, but I always felt like you were being judged and it was this uncommon thing.
Oh, yeah. I definitely felt that way. That stat is so supportive, I think, of my life journey. Because, no, it's true. It's like, I think about the people in my life. Most of my friends actually are unpartnered, and I think that's probably by choice. It just happens to be we have more free time, or we have similar things in common, or that specific thing in common, at least unmarried specifically. Yeah, you're right. It does. When you leave a city, I think sometimes you feel even more everybody's married and everyone has kids and everyone's doing everything. And am I the black sheep? But yeah, definitely makes me feel better.
In my case, it was opposite. I actually got divorced right before my 40s. So I did a complete opposite. I'm like, I'm done with the burps and I'm done with
You're done
marriage.
with it.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is out there.
But what's also interesting is I feel like the media hasn't caught up to the fact that there are so many people who have never been married or are unpartnered in their 40s. Do you guys read romance novels? Am I the only one who reads romance novels? I don't read I don't read Fabio on the cover romance novels. I read the cheesy.
Yeah, I read some
I watch
romance novels.
I watch a lot of rom-coms. I think I'm just more of a watcher than a reader, but yeah.
There's, yeah.
The other day, I was looking for just an easy read, a romance novel or a cute rom-com kind of novel that I could read. And I was looking for one where the characters were over 40 because a lot of those novels, everybody's in their 20s, and I don't relate anymore. I kind of just end up judging the characters instead of feeling like I can relate to them. So I was looking for one where the main characters were in their 40s, and every single book was a woman who was just overcoming her divorce or who had recently been widowed, and she's trying to rebuild her life with her 2 kids and her dog. And I don't relate to any of this. I have just been a consistently single woman throughout my life. And again, these numbers tell me I'm not the only one. I don't know why the media hasn't caught up with this. And even the new spat of movies that we're seeing where it's the older woman with the younger guy, where they have no chemistry and it's really awkward, and we haven't really quite cracked that nut yet. It is always these women who are divorced and they're trying to enter the next chapter of their life. I'm like, isn't there another trope that we could go off of here? Because obviously there are more of us and we have different lives other than this just one trope that society seems to want to throw at us.
Should we co-write a script, guys?
Maybe.
I feel like
Maybe
we
it's
should. That's such a
maybe
great script.
Fried Green Avocados Productions in partnership with You're Not in Your 20s Anymore. No, I would not be opposed to writing that script. We have tension. We have exciting things that happen in our lives that could be fodder for a good story.
Yeah, you can be having people screaming at the screen like, don't fall for it.
Don't fall for it. He's the Tinder swindler.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're right. There isn't. That is so interesting. Now I'm really trying to think of a movie that is girl in her 40s, living life, traveling, doing the thing, just has had heartache, has had breakups, but it just hasn't met her person. And why does it have to be this devastating thing that's happened? And now she's like, I'm going to date younger men, or I'm going to do this. I don't know. It's that rom-com fairy tale has a stronghold on everybody. What we want to watch and what we want to be.
Well, and you can only do that at a certain age. That rom-com thing can happen in your 40s. It doesn't have to be this sad story of new beginnings. I don't need to start again. I'm just continuing. My life is just continuing. I haven't experienced some devastating loss or change in my life where now all of a sudden I'm picking up the pieces and I need to move forward and I'm going to find some new man, and that's part of how I pick up the pieces. It just feels like this very tired, antiquated trope, which again, I think doesn't reflect the reality of these numbers, which I thought were so incredibly surprising. I thought it was going to be 10% of people. I thought it was probably going to
agree.
Yeah.
I thought it was single digits.
So why do you think so many people are unpartnered in general, men or women? Do you think we've gotten too picky, or are there other things that are happening that are keeping people from being partnered with someone?
I think I think it's definitely the bumble of it all. It's like maybe the next person will be everything I want and be that jackpot, you know? I also think women, especially our generation of women, are just more independent. We have higher incomes, I would imagine, than our generations before us. There's less of you don't even need a man to have a baby. You really don't. So you don't really need a man. And I think in the past, maybe there was more of that. And now it's more, I can do, unless you want to do it the traditional way, I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think men, I feel like I see men in their 40s and their 50s with younger women, and they know that they can, I think that is, again, the online dating of it all. I could be with someone my age, but there's this 25-year-old that I could take care of, and it's going to be fun and exciting, and I can have my Leonardo DiCaprio moment. So yeah. That's what I think. I know, it's gross.
So all the men are just trying to be Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't know why, but maybe.
I do think that there is a certain, and this is on both sides, a certain delusion to what people think that they can pull as a single person. Like, these men who are in their late 40s and
balding
and not in the best shape and not that cute. And they're the ones who don't make that much money and are talking about gold diggers. And you're just like, sir, I don't know what you think you're going to pull here. I don't know what you think your dating pool is, but it's not as vast. And then they'll be like, all of these women are just trying to scam you. And it's like, who are you swiping on? If she looks like a Playboy model, maybe not really a person who's interested in you. Just a hunch.
But I do agree. I think it's the options it's become a gamification thing on any of the apps. Just had an appointment with my doctor and he was like, where are you? Are you meeting people? Are you dating? I'm like, no, because guys are dumb. And she's like, guys are dumb. She's like, good. Guys are dumb. She's like, in our days, we would just go to the temple or the church, or you had your office, or, your coworkers. But now, where are you meeting them? On the apps. No one's approaching anyone anymore.
And I don't think people know how to approach anyone anymore. I mean, do you think people even know how to date?
I think it's
in a way that's
harder.
meaningful, in a way to create a meaningful relationship?
I don't think so. I feel like post-pandemic, I mean, it's not even post-pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, yes, we had the apps. That has ruined it. Post-pandemic, I think it has ruined it even more. I feel like people in general, not just guys, and I think we all have attention spans of a gnat. And in our 20s and 30s, I think it was fine to be like, oh my God, this guy gives me the ick and I don't want to work on it anymore. But once you get to like a certain age, you're like, okay, everybody is going to have an ick that you have to work through. I don't think that we know how to date, or maybe we do know how to date, but we don't know what it means to actually sustain something beyond the rosy phase of everything. Everybody is stuck in that. I just want the good parts and I don't want the rest of the parts that you need to kind of work on. And I think that's why we have people who are single at our age, because you're like, I don't want to deal with, like, I have my own things to worry about. I just want a weekend boyfriend. I just want to go out and have fun. That's it.
I think it's interesting. I feel like, well, I've been dating someone now for 2 years, and this is probably my first consistent meaning I see him often boyfriend, I think, for me. And I'm 43. I've had boyfriends, but they long distance. And I feel like it's interesting because Ivan, who was my boyfriend, has had many girlfriends, and his experience level in having a relationship is so different from mine. So coming into it, I was like, well, I want to do it this way and I want to do this and me, because it's been so long since I've had a need to compromise on anything that I want to do. And I think with him, he has had these relationships. So he is much more involved in the relationship aspect. And he's very much more, I've been dating intentionally when I met him and this is what I want. And I think for me, that was something I had to learn. And normally in my 30s, I might be like, I don't like this, so I don't want to date you anymore. But is it just because I'm impatient as a person, which I know that I can be, or is it because this is a deal breaker? And I think that is an evolution of myself. But I do think that requires people doing a lot of inner work to really know what are your values, what are you looking for, what can you let go, and what is the shit that you're bringing that someone has to put up with, which is hard. It's hard for people to do.
Think that, yeah, and I think that's really interesting because I wonder if there has been a societal shift where our generation wasn't necessarily raised to have to try to work through relationships with other people and work through the hard parts. I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but when we were growing up, the type of media our mothers were consuming was a lot of the, just get rid of him, he's bad for you, or, you need to cut those people out of your life. And I feel like it was a lot of that kind of self-help in media that we would see. And I feel like that's how especially millennial women were raised. It's, you're better off on your own instead of having this person dragging you down. And so we never were required, I think, to work on things as much as maybe people in generations before were. Not to say that those things were great. I don't think a lot of marriages in generations before were particularly fantastic. But I do think that maybe in our generation, we overcorrected a little bit and didn't learn how to work through those hard times in a way that is necessary to be able to have those kinds of relationships.
I think it's also, I mean, I have friends who are our generation and are married and are happy and whatever, but they got married young. And I think, or in their 30s, early 30s, maybe even late 20s. For me, I think it's also just the art of dating in your 40s, you already have all your shit figured out and you're way more stuck in your ways. Yeah, you should, hopefully, fingers crossed. And you're just more stuck in, like for me, I'm very stuck in my routine, my way, what I want to do, what I want to eat, where I want to go. And I think a lot of women are like that. So I think it's hard to be malleable. And then it's also then on top of that layer, these rom-coms that you see and you want that thing, but then when something comes, it's not exactly that. And it's just, I think there's a lack of flexibility, which goes back, Elisa, to your point earlier. I think it's specific to our age as well, because we're just more, think about when you go on vacation with friends. Maybe before you'd be fine with staying in a hostel, but now you're going to be like, absolutely not. I'm not going to share my room with anybody. And, you know, these are the things I need to do in the morning and I have to go to the gym and I need my whatever, coffee.
I agree with you. And it's interesting you say that because Tim and I, we were having a conversation the other day and we're both on the same page that we don't want to get married. He's been married twice. He doesn't want to get married again. I've just never had any interest in getting married. Doesn't do anything for me. But I've also said I'm not really interested in living with someone. And so he said, I don't want to get married, but I did always hope eventually I'd find somebody to live with and we can share our space. And I was like, well, maybe we can think about that. And it's exactly for the point that you're talking about, Jasmine. I'm like, I have my space. My things are where I like them. And I have my decor and I like my decor. And if the dishes are in the sink, they're my dishes and they weren't anybody else's dishes. Yeah. And T, I know we've talked socks. Before. You have you have issues with socks being on the floor. I don't want to pick up anyone's socks. I don't want to be accidentally on the hook for your laundry. No, I do all the laundry.
Yeah.
No. I'm not the person. And don't get me wrong. I clean a lot, and I clean a lot just because that's who I am, and we're a bit of an obsessive-compulsive bunch on my dad's side of the family, where I get all of this from. But it's one thing if I'm cleaning my stuff.
Like, I don't want to clean anyone else's filth. Yeah.
I don't want to clean anybody else's filth.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Fair.
To be fair, Elisa, when I was married, I didn't want to clean my ex's filth either. So, and I made him do his own laundries.
Yeah, be like, your laundry bin's over there. If you don't have underwear, that's your problem.
Well, that, and I never trusted him to do my laundry because I did not want my sweaters to shrink. So,
but I think I'm more in your camp, T. I'm more in the weekend boyfriend, not totally weekend boyfriend camp.
Yes, yeah. We each have our own space and our own routines, like Jasmine said, but we come together and, we just date.
Well, just have fun together. I mean, I want somebody to, not to say that we're not going to work through hard times together. Absolutely. And we'll all have, challenges that we face. And I want somebody that I can be there for emotionally and who can be there for me emotionally. And, we're supporting each other. But, a lot of it is just the day-to-day. I'm like, I want somebody to do fun stuff with and go to Home Goods with and do emotionally supportive stuff with. And yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like a happy little life to me. I don't need kids. I don't need marriage. I don't need mortgages.
Yeah.
I just don't want any of those things at this point.
That's why you get married as soon. That's why our Daisy parents get us married too soon, because then you're moldable. After 30s, you're not moldable. That's what one of the aunties said to me a while back. I was like, that makes sense. Why would I want to? By that point, by my 30s, mid-30s, I'm already set in my ways where I don't think I can compromise anymore. Even now, the little bit I compromise is because, trying to be nice. Okay, you can do this. If you want. But I strongly suggest we do that.
I'm curious. We're talking about it a little bit, but what are you looking for in a relationship now that you weren't looking for in your 20s? How has that changed and how is it shaping how you've been dating? And Jasmine, I feel like you talked about this before. We've talked about it where you had your list of
Yeah.
things. You went to a life coach.
Yes, I went to a life coach and I did some coaching on myself and what is self-love and do I have self-love and how do I meet the person that is right for me because I keep attracting people that are just not good matches or not right for me or not appropriate for me. And one of the things they said, they were like, okay, write down 100 things that you want in your partner. And 100 is a lot. I remember after like
That's a lot.
50 or maybe even 40, I was like, oh, I don't know what else I want, but okay, I'll keep going. And I kept getting more extravagant. and then and then the tricky part was he was like, now you have to narrow it down to 5. And those 5 things are the 5 things that you should focus on when you date. And everything else is a nice to have. And it was really, really helpful. I mention it a lot to people because it was one of the most helpful exercises I've ever done in just getting more clear. Because for me, I do want a husband. I want a partner. I want to live with someone. I want many kids, even though I'm 43, we're still hoping. And I want all of those things. And so if I want those things, I think I need to be very intentional about the characteristics that I'm looking for. And so, and then just dating more people, it got even more clear. So yeah, my things that I look for, that I was looking for were very much someone intentional, someone who wants kids, someone who has very strong family roots and values and cares about their parents as they age and thinks about their family and has good relationships with their siblings and so on and so forth. That was a big one for me. And then someone who was very communicative. It was funny, I was reading it recently and it was a clear communicator because I had dated so many people that were like, not texting me back or ghosting me or all that nonsense that happens. And I was like, I just want someone who's like clear. And I think I'm very grateful that I have that now because it's like Ivan is like the best communicator. And then something else, as I kept going, I was like, I want someone who like either has the same spending habits as me, which is rare, or who won't bother me about my spending habits because I've had that in the past where they judge you for what you spend your money on. That's an important one, I think, because one of the top things people fight about is money.
That's incredibly important. You need to have
Yeah.
a similar point of view on finances and how you're spending your money. You may spend your money on things that the other person thinks is frivolous or not worth it. But as long as you have your budget for those things and you're not overspending, who cares? You need somebody who's okay with that.
Yeah. So I think those are the things. And then ultimately, it was also who makes me feel safe versus makes me feel jittery. I think I used to be like, feeling is exciting and butterflies are fine in the beginning, but if you're constantly having I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, like we might break up and that feels really shitty. So like,
Yeah.
so I was
Emotional
like,
safety.
yes,
Yeah.
like someone who's careful with my heart was a very important thing too. So yeah, that is very different because I think before my thing was, is he hot? Is he like
I mean, we still want him to be hot, Jasmine.
There's nothing wrong with being hot. Nothing wrong with it.
That's the only thing. I think I had that too. I was obviously attraction and intimacy is important. But before I was like, he has to want to live in New York forever, which is hilarious because I don't want to live in New York forever. He can't eat fast food because I'll be judgy. And he has to go to the gym and he has to like be hot. And those were my 5 things. And it was so stupid. And those are the kind of people that I ended up dating.
Well, it sounds like the life coach was a good idea for you then.
Jasmine, I
Very
did start
cool.
making a list after we talked, and I was like, "Oh, how do I get to 100?" But I'm at 30 something right now, so
It's hard. It's fun. Later,
it is hard.
like, oh, he's an Oscar winner, like, and go on and on. And then
Oscar winner. Oh, were you
Wait.
thinking of Jake Gyllenhaal? Wait, has he won an Oscar?
I don't think he's won an Oscar.
No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
no. Wait, so what were some of the more ridiculous things you had on your list?
I'm trying
Your
to
100.
remember. I feel like what did I have? I was probably wants a house has a house in Italy and Spain and what I just kept going. A lot of it was vanity stuff, and then it was must have an 8-pack.
You'd be lucky if you get a 6-pack, babe. At
This is-
40s.
100, I know, it's sad. This is 100 things, so it was very ludicrous. And it was like need to like cook every night and clean and make $100 billion. And it was like, And I mean, it was was so hard. Like after 30, it was like, what else do I want? I think I'm okay, but I kept going. It was entertaining. It's a fun exercise, guys.
Wait, so T, you said you have 34 so far. What's on your list?
Oh my God. I don't think I have my book, but I think the big thing for me was compassion, emotional safety, honesty, trust. Some of the values based stuff was higher for me. Family values, appreciation for art in general. And they had to match a lifestyle that I'm used to. And be curious, I think, just about people, about world, about things and adventures. Those were the first things that came up. I'm very close to my family as well, and I want somebody who is also close to their family. I'm very close to my cousins. They have to have a big family. I can't. I've met people who have not talked to their siblings in years. I'm like, I can't. Like, I cannot. I call my siblings I call my siblings every weekend, and my cousins I call every weekend. So I think I'm still working through it. I haven't gotten to the 100 billion or the must have Range Rover. I did joke with my mentor once. I'm like, do I look like I would be get an Arab wife material?
Why not?
He's like, why? Right?
What?
Like, I just want to be an Arabian princess. I want a Range Rover and a allowance, and I don't care if I'm part of a harem.
I mean,
I do
Habibi,
care.
Habibi, you can move back to Dubai.
Habibi.
Habibi, come to Dubai.
Okay, Range Rover guys in Dubai are broke, okay? No.
I feel like Dubai in that way is kind of like LA. Whenever you see somebody with a super flashy car, you're like, you really aren't making that much money. I know
You're
you
a
aren't.
red flag. Who's that guy? The TikTok guy. Needs some
The
red
TikTok guy
flags.
with the red flag. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I think, yeah, those are my big things. I think everything has been value-based. Looks and stuff do matter, but they don't have to be super hot. They just need to be reasonably attractive that I can be like, oh my gosh, hey. Yeah, and funny and yeah.
Oh yeah, funny.
Somebody who can deal with my sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah. Funny was like one of my ones. I was like, you need to
Yeah.
laugh with me. That's like so important. Like, what else are you?
I still don't know if I seem to attract and want the Gora guys, but the way that I describe things to Jasmine, it's like, you need a Desi guy, but the Desi guys are. No,
You should
they're just
define
like-
what Gora is for Elisa's.
Yeah.
audience.
What is it? Got a guy.
Gora is a white boy.
Yes.
You know, the Gora Pakora.
Gora.
That's funny. That was one of my things. I was like, Sardar, I had that on my list. And then when I narrowed it down to the 5, those fell off. And that was just really interesting because I was like, that's so important to me, but important as like, if I marry a sick guy and he has no family values and he isn't funny, and like, what's the point?
Doesn't
of this?
appreciate Taylor Swift.
I mean, that nobody does. No, Ivan wasn't either. So, but it's funny.
Okay, but I feel like every guy has the one Taylor Swift song that gets them in. Mark Maron has a good clip where he's listening to Bigger Than the Whole Sky. And he's like, hey, I didn't understand it before. And then I was on a hike and I started listening to this song. It just came on. By the first verse, I'm crying by myself on the side. In fairness, if any Taylor Swift song is going to make you cry, it would be Bigger Than the Whole Sky. It's a really sad. I can't listen to it. It's really
I
sad.
have to skip it usually. I'm like, no, it's beautiful, but it's too much.
But Elisa, has your list changed from your 20s
Question.
to 30s through?
My list has definitely changed. And to be fair, I don't think I had a list before. I think it was just I was going off pure, does this person seem interesting and exciting to me right now? I wasn't really going off of looking for specific attributes. And I think, well, actually, that's not true. So I was going off of one of...
Subconsciously do, yeah.
Yeah, there was one of two things. Either I wanted somebody who I thought was hot and I just had chemistry with, and I dated a lot of those guys, and they were kind of fast burns. They were a lot of fun, but they were fast burns. And then I always knew that they would be fast burns. And in my head, I was saying, okay, if I have somebody I want to settle down with, I want them to be very similar to who I am. I want them to be kind of in the same not the same field, but more of a corporate person, and they have good income potential, and they've gone to one of these top schools, and all of those really superficial metrics of how you would assess someone. And now that I've gotten older, my perspective has really shifted to values-based. And it's been more about, I want somebody who's kind. The emotional safety thing has been huge for me. The communication thing has been huge for me. Can you communicate how you're feeling? Do you want to talk about our relationship? Can you start those conversations? Can you maintain those conversations when we have them? And then also somebody who can bring out different parts of me. So we were talking about this before, where before I used to want guys who were very business-minded, business savvy, kind of these sort of MBA kind of guys. And now dating Tim, he tends to be a lot more creative, which I love because it's also bringing out, I am not a creative person. I mean, Tim can
Yes, you are.
paint and he can, but no, like he can draw. He's a chef. He knows how to put things together. He's really great at teaching himself how to do things. And that's not me. This whole podcast thing, I've been teaching myself how to do the editing and how to film everything. It's been a really steep learning curve. So it's not my natural inclination. But it's great. I love being with somebody who balances me in that way and can bring out these other aspects of my personality that I feel like I haven't developed. And so that's more of what I'm looking for now, especially since I'm not sitting here saying, I need to build a life with someone. I need to have children with someone. You know, I think I always wanted to be this sort of like power couple. Like we were just going to be this power couple taking on the world kind of thing. And now I'm like, I'm good. I don't need that.
And take over the world myself.
Wait, you know what? No, it's not even that. It's that I've gotten to the point where I have no interest in taking over the world. Like, I have no interest. Before, it was, I felt like, you know, because, and again, you're in these highly competitive school environments. And then you go to these colleges and everything's super competitive. And I always thought, okay, I've got to be a CEO when I'm 30 and I've got to start my own tech company and all of that stupid crap. And I've just gotten to a point where that's not actually what makes me happy. And it's not actually what I want. And I only have one life. And I just want to, for the most part, do as much of the things that make me happy as I can and not have to overly stress. And I don't think the sacrifice that's required for that, I just don't think it's worth it for me personally.
It's so interesting. You're like the seventh person our age that has said something similar to me lately. I think T, you and I were talking about this weekend too. A lot of these women who a lot of women from our business school, actually, I've talked to them, a few of them recently, and they're like, you know, I was so aggressive. I did banking and consulting, and now I just want to quit, or I want to do something that's more chill and a 9 to 5, be done with it, move on, obviously have income, but that's not my passion. And it's interesting that it's in our 40s that like, why do you think it's in our 40s that all this shit changes? It's like your value system changes, so the people you're dating are changing, and then your value system changes, so your career goals are also, not everybody, but many women, they're like really evolving. It's like, actually, no, I don't want to fucking work till 2 on the deck. I'm good. Thank you so much.
The thing I tell my teams all the time, and it's a really kind of morbid way of putting things, I'm like, one day somebody is going to stand up and give your eulogy and no one's going to talk about your Q4 results. It's never going to happen. So
my boss, that's so nice.
Like, focus on your life. Your life should come first. Your life and your family. This is a job. I expect you to come and do a good job. I expect you to be committed. I expect you to be a productive part of this team. I don't expect you to sacrifice your life for this company.
That is exactly
just not important.
That's exactly what my approach to dating has been. This person that I was seeing recently, that's what I told her. I'm like, I just want to be in my soft girl era right now.
Yes.
Okay? Whether it's at work or whether it's dating, I just want to be soft. And I don't want to be the one driving anything. I've already done the driving part. I just want to sit back and have somebody else drive. and do the stuff. And all I want to do is be pretty and soft and chill, and that's it.
I just want to be in my soft girl era. Like you're saying, like, it's tiring.
Yeah. It
And
is tiring.
yeah, like I'm gonna show up, and I expect the other person to show up and be real and be yourself, and genuine authenticity is all I'm asking for. Maybe that's what's missing in dating right now. It's just authenticity. At least for me, that's what I'm finding.
I want to understand what you mean.
I find that the reason dating has become frustrating because of the apps, because there's always a front that you are bringing. At least that's been my experience. I feel like sometimes people are so hung up on getting liked and impressing that everything seems performative. And then you have the high, and then like finally when it actually kicks in, it's like, oh, there's the realness sets in where the rosy stuff is done. Like the realness sets in, and that's when most people fail. So that's why you hear about not just women our age, like even younger, going through the same things where everything is hunky dory, and for the first couple of weeks or month even, and then it's people's true colors that you do show up. And I think from the get-go, if you're just your authentic self, it's different. It's the whole friends to lovers trope that is more popular, because your friends actually see who you are and then slowly fall in love with you, right? Like if you were to take a look at that friends to lovers trope, but now it just seems sometimes it can be very performative.
I think you're right. Chris Rock had a bit where he was like, people don't date you, they date your representative. No one would date you. and so I think that there is more of that because of the apps, because people have to present this front and this brand, and you're not meeting in this way that feels more organic like it used to. But I totally agree. And I think people also don't know what to do on the apps. So I think the apps have really, and obviously everybody agrees, the apps have really changed everything about how people date. But I think part of it is it's made it way more confusing. When Tim and I first started seeing each other, one of the things that he said to me was, it's really hard for a man to date on the apps. He's like, because I feel like all of these women have a set of unwritten rules that I don't know how to play by, and each set of rules is different.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong. And everybody is customizing their app experience to try to either mitigate the issues that they're facing in the people that they're meeting, or to try to make the people that they want to meet find them more attractive. And so it's like everyone's become this sort of Frankenstein of themselves in a way to try to, appeal to somebody else. But Tim was saying, he's like, it was really hard because there would be some women who would say, if you don't want to video chat with me, then I'm not going to go out with you. Or if you're asking me for a video chat, that's a red flag. I don't want to go out with you if you're asking me for a video chat.
Oh my God. Okay.
Or other women who were like, no, we have to meet before I give you my phone number. And then other women who are like, no, I need to talk to you on the phone before we meet. And he's like, I don't know what the rules are. He's like, I don't know what to do. I'm
To be fair, the rules are there because there are women who've had to deal with guys, and vice versa. Maybe like guys also have their own stuff. They've had to deal with this. And I don't think guys really understand that there are so many things that a woman has to think about before she actually can meet you, because there are creeps out there. Not to say that there are no red flag women out there. It's just that everybody has a vetting process, and you just have to honor their vetting process. And it's not a blanket thing. I've given my number before, and I've had to have a pen pal situation. Like, guys,
Oh God, I hate that. I hate the pen pal.
I don't know. The corrections officer always looking for pen pals. Like, write to the inmates. I don't know.
Well, no, it's because I feel like those are the guys who want to put you in some kind of holding pattern or something. It's
Hey,
like, okay,
what's up?
what's up? What's going on? But like, I don't want to invest in you right now, but maybe if these 3 other women don't work out, we'll go on a date at some point. And that's why they randomly pop up 8 years later. And they're like, hey, haven't talked in a while. We haven't talked in 3 years. I had a guy that I met before the pandemic We had gone on a date when I was living in New York before the pandemic. Last year messaged me. He had ghosted me during the pandemic. And then last year he was like, hey, haven't talked to you in a while. I'm like,
Crazy.
Were we together at the time? Were we taking a trip together when you mentioned this to me?
oh, maybe. It might have been in Miami. It might have been in Miami when he messaged me. And I was like, I literally went on a date with you 4 years ago. And you ghosted me.
Shame. Think
Yeah,
about
like what is wrong with you?
But people do that in real life. Like this is like I feel like the dating apps are great in that they expand your network of people for sure. Like it is harder. I don't know. Hadn't happened my entire life that I was at a bar and a meaningful relationship came out of it. Maybe a hookup or something. But I feel like those are the pros. Like you expand your network, you expand the population of people. But the negative is nobody has any shame. I have had a guy text number 2 send me a dick pic. And I'm like, what about me looks like I'm interested in that at all? Based on our conversation, based on my I love matcha and Taylor Swift, what is it that makes you think that like I want to see your penis on text number 2?
Be like, thanks. I'm gonna send this to your mom.
Exactly. And it's just there's no shame because they don't have to because we're not a person until you actually meet and like up until then you're like you're like nothing. You're just on a screen.
Yeah.
Can I just say I have never understood the dick pic ever.
Same.
I have never understood it. I don't get it. If you're gonna send a nude, just send a full nude. That's you. Oh,
I
you're looking
agree.
hot. That is the least attractive part of your whole body. So why are you sending me the least attractive? Like it's not pretty.
It's not
So why are you sending that to me?
Should we have a response? I think my response would be, that's great. Do you also have 6 figures?
Oh my
Started the
god.
dick pic.
But yeah.
Not
But I
okay.
just don't
Yeah,
get it.
so to Tim's point, yes, I can understand that can be really frustrating, but women have to go through a higher vetting process because of the experiences that we've had. And I had gone on a date with this one guy and he was very nice. But he said there was this one girl he went on a date with and she set a timer for 90 minutes.
At the
And she was
date?
like, at the date. And she's like, this is going to be a 90-minute date. She basically put him on this hot seat, asked him a lot of questions, and then she was just going through her own vetting process and she didn't want to waste her time. Like she was at the time in her 30s. So he's like,
turn
oh,
off.
this girl told me I have 90 minutes to impress her. It's like, oh, okay. But anyways, everybody has a vetting process.
Yeah. I think if a guy did that, I would be like, you know what? I think we're good. We can just cut that to a 1-minute date and we can move on because I think it's like you can have that in the back of your head. I've definitely had that on dates where I'm like, I'm going out for one drink. We'll see, I don't want to extend this. Let's see how it goes. And either depending on how it's going, you decide to keep on bar hopping or doing whatever, or you're like, oh, gotta go. And like, you're not like, I am going to be putting 90 minutes on. That's rude. It's very rude.
Last week or 2 weeks ago, I met a few of my friends, and at the end of the night, so this is this guy's farewell party, met a few of his friends. It was kind of nice to get men's perspective on some of the dating things that I was going through, and then they had questions as well. He's like, tell me this. I don't understand. Who pays for the first date? I'm like, the person who invites you on the date is the person that pays for the date.
Yes.
Okay. That was this big thorn. These guys were like, well, but what if it's like a first date? And I'm like, well, your first date should be a low effort date. He's like, yeah, but girls don't like that. I'm like, well, that just could be the type of girl you're going for that don't like that.
I agree with you, T. So I think if you're just meeting the first time, saying, hey, let's meet for a coffee, let's meet for a drink. That is an entry level date. That is I am going to spend $10 to $20 on you to see if I would be interested in learning more. That's what that is. And then if you decide you want to stay for dinner, then fine. Now you're going to spend more. But if you're not willing to spend 10 to 20 bucks to just see if you generally like me, I'm okay with you. I feel like, but I do agree that first date, if she's like, I want to take you out, will you go out with me? She should pay. But I think if he's asking you out, he should pay. In fairness, I think even if she did ask him out, he should be offering to pay if he had a
I
good
agree.
time. But if he's like, I'm good, then it's on her to pay, is sort of
These
my
guys,
feeling on it.
they're like, wait, you pay on your dates? I'm like, yeah, I have paid on my dates as well, at least a couple of them. It's the reciprocity of it. Like, okay, you paid for something and I'll take care of the next drink or I'll take care of ice cream or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, the girls that we go out with don't pay for anything. I'm like, it could be the type of women you're going for. I actually knew somebody who went on a first date. They spent $400 to $500 on sushi as a sushi date for a first date. And yeah, I'm like, what happened to just going for a walk? Like $400 for sushi? There's this girl in our building, and she was explaining her date, and she's like, I don't go for walking dates or this date and blah blah blah. And she was explaining the $400 to $500 sushi date. I'm like, why? Why are you making it so complicated?
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. To go on a $400 date to begin with is ridiculous, I feel like. And especially for sushi, that just feels like a lot of money for sushi.
It's probably like an omakase, but like that's a big
Yeah, it was an
fancy
omakase, yeah.
date for like a first date. Although you're not the first person. I have a friend who has mentioned to me, he's like, yeah, all my guy friends, and they're all very well to do. They date these women who just expect that, and they expect dropping $400 or $500 on a date one. And I'm like, who are these people? I don't know them. I don't like engage with them, but it's like, it's not as common as you would think. I feel like we're just amazing and nice, and we're like, no, it's fine. The $10 coffee and a walk is good.
But I think the difference is we are all people who were saying our top 5 attributes of what we're looking for in somebody are values-based.
That's true.
Versus,
That's true.
I don't think that either of the people in those situations are values-based. I think he's looking for somebody hot who can be an accessory, and she's looking for somebody rich who can take care of her. And that's who you are. That's who you are. But if you're a guy, don't complain about it, because that's what you're looking for. Let's be real.
Point.
Don't sit there and be like, women only want this. And it's actually no. You only want women who can be an accessory that you can show off to all your other guy friends. She doesn't have a personality. It's not like you're sitting there and being like, this is the love of my life because she has so much depth to her. So let's be real. Don't complain that this woman isn't some ethereal Mother Earth woman with a fake butt and filled lips.
Yeah, different value system for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I'm curious. So one of the other tropes that I hear a lot, and we hear people talking about this on other podcasts, is talking about how women only want a small percentage of men. So I don't know if you've all heard this. It comes up on my TikTok all the time. I don't know if it comes up on your TikToks, but it's basically, well, the problem with dating now is that women only want men who make at least 6 figures, or at least 6 feet tall, and have gone to these top tier schools, and men just don't qualify for all of these crazy requirements. And I'm curious if you think that's true. Do you think the issue is that women only want a small percentage of the men that are available out there? Or is the issue that men aren't elevating themselves to a place that women feel like it's worth their time?
I feel like there are 2 categories of women, right? The women who are looking for the 6-foot blue-eye, 6-figure guy are maybe in their early 30s, that marriageable age, like between 24 to 35, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then those are the ones who are actually looking for, he needs to have good schooling, great job, 6-figure salary, needs to be tall, because at the time come on, let's face it, you're thinking about reproducing basically, and you want the best of the best, right? You want the good gene pool. But I feel the older you get, so women our age, I think, have let go of that, because we know that not everybody is going to be 6 feet, blue-eyed, 6-figure salary. Are there women looking for that? Yes, there are, and they should, because why not? Aim high in your 20s and 30s, and then get to your 40, you're like, sorry, there are not that many, But I think at our age, it's been more important that they are able to match a lifestyle that we are able to give to ourselves and are able to match that. I think that's what it boils down to, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. I think that being able to match the lifestyle that you've given to yourself is huge. And so if it's a matter of, I want somebody who can live a similar life to what I'm living, and I'm living a life of over 6 figures and doing all of that, can you match that in some way, shape, or form? I think that's the crux of it for a lot of women, because women have started to out earn men in some ways.
It's like that Cher video, right? She's like, "Look, Ma, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I don't need a rich man. I am a rich man.
I am
Yeah.
a rich man."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the question was around, are women looking for this and are men leveling up? I do think when you're younger, you look for the aesthetics. I mean, I literally said it earlier. I was like, he needs to be hot, and that's all that matters. And then I dated a lot of those hot 6 feet over men, and they were really boring. They were extremely mind-numbingly boring. And we didn't have anything in common, and it was purely for the aesthetic purposes. And it failed, and it failed for a reason. And I actually know a lot of women who marry the 6 foot hot guy and got divorced. And I think reality is no one's going to have everything you want. You might find
Yeah.
the 6 foot guy with a 6 figure salary, and he might be terrible in bed because he's never had to work for it. And so these are the things I hear from people. And then I think the men that I know who are looking for a partner, a lot of them have done a lot of work on themselves. There's a lot of that happening. I feel like I see it on TikTok too. It's men's mental health and men's groups and how did they grow. And I don't know if the 30-something-year-old men are doing that, because they're probably like the women. They're just, hey, I'm in this prime age. But I do think the men who are intentionally looking, not all of them, but some of them are intentionally looking for a partner in their 40s, are probably like, it hasn't worked for me yet. Why? Maybe they're asking those same questions. Let me work on this. I don't know. I've wanted a man with a 6 pack. I've said it before, a 6 or 8 pack. And then I'm like, I don't have a 6 or an 8 pack. So if I'm not giving the thing that I'm desiring, and I want to eat my ice cream, I want to eat my brownies, and I actually want someone that's going to be cool with that. So I'm like, yes, that sounds great in theory, but then you're going to probably be annoying about your diet in a way that isn't going to match with my lifestyle.
Exactly.
To get
like who was the marathon guy? The marathon guy.
Oh God, the marathon guy.
Wait, who's the marathon guy?
I dated very short during COVID, a couple dates with a guy who was training for the marathon. He wouldn't stop talking about training for the marathon every day. And he had an 8 pack. He truly had an 8 pack. He was like a squash coach and a marathon trainer, but all he would talk about was the marathon, and he was eating Whole30, so he couldn't eat anything. And then we would go out and I'd be like, fuck it, let me eat before I go because I want pasta, and you're gonna eat an RX bar. And my sister, I was staying with my sister at the time, she's like, this is so weird, you're like scarfing down a protein bar before you're like, what the fuck is going on? So yes, that was a big aha moment, because he was very tall, he had 8 pack, he was like half Indian, half something else. But ultimately, I mean, I need somebody who's want to eat. I like to eat.
Somebody who likes ice cream.
Yeah. I feel like there's the one guy who ends up being the tipping point where you're like, I've got to change this. I told you guys about the guy that I went on the date with before Tim, who was so hot, and then we got into the conversation about how he thought we didn't really win the Revolutionary War. Yeah. And I was just like, I can't anymore. I can't believe I'm in this conversation. I can't believe you exist as a human. I can't. So, but yeah, there's just like, thank you, sir, for pushing me over the edge to being more values-based.
But Jasmin, you kind of bring up a good point about guys who are actually like looking into therapy or like trying to look into why are things happening, what are these patterns. And I feel like as I'm making my own list, one of the things that I've been thinking about is, in order for me to find a person like that, I also have to embody some of these things. And am I bringing the same person into these potential relationships? Am I this person that I am expecting someone else to be? And I think that's also been sort of a learning experience for me right now, is, am I this person that I say that I am or want?
I don't think a lot of people have and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like, I don't think people realize what they can pull. But like in a more meaningful way, like, are you truly bringing what you want out of the other person in a relationship? What do you have to offer in this relationship? I don't know that a lot of people really understand what value they provide in a relationship. And especially when you're all dating and it's so superficial when you're younger. I mean, they're really pretty basic things that you're bringing to the relationship. It's like, are you hot? Yes, I'm hot. I'm hot too. We will match on levels of hotness. And that's kind of all it boils down to. But so, question for you guys, the height thing. I have friends who, and of course they're always the shorter of the friends. My friend Alana, who's been on this podcast, she's 4'9" and she only wants to date guys who are like 6'4". But I have never had an issue from a height standpoint. As long as you're my height or above, I'm happy. But I'm curious, do you guys have a height standard?
I feel like I very much did. It was just as hard of a line as my must love New York and live in New York forever, which we all know how that went. Like, I have friends who still remind me, guy friends who liked me, and we're like, well, once you said that, we were kind of like, okay, I don't want to live in New York. And I was like, yeah. I used to be very 6'1". I want 6'1", and I think that's fair. Your preference is your preference. And then I started dating men that were not that, and they were short kings, as the TikToks go. And Ivan isn't that tall. He's a 6'1", and it just stopped bothering me as much. It was just, there's so many more things that are so much more important than this. It's so funny because he and I were talking about this recently because he's Latino. And so he's like, I'm really used to like really curvy women, and I'm curvy-ish. And I'm like, wow, isn't that a problem then? And he's like, no, not really. He's like, I'm sure your ideal would probably be a 6'1", 6 guy, and I'm not that. Does that bother you every day? And I was like, no, I'm obviously attracted to you and think you're hot. And he's like, right. And this is an example of how he is more mature in a relationship than me. But yeah, to answer your question, it used to be a thing. And yes, still, I will say the height thing. I will notice often men more when they are just they happen to be tall and really broad shouldered. And now I'm like, I don't mind if they're shorter, as long as they still have the the shoulder thing is a big thing for me, regardless of your height. So it has
the broad shoulder.
I need broad shoulder. I don't know. I like shoulders. Send me a shoulder pic. Don't send me a dick pic. Okay.
I like that. Show me your biceps and show me your shoulders.
Show me your shoulders.
That's going to turn me on much more than your penis. Anyways.
Seriously, it is. Show me you doing something like home renovations with a good shoulder. Yeah. Ooh.
Yes.
Like that. Like that. That's some hot stuff. That's what I need.
This person I was seeing was washing dishes in my kitchen, and I was like, you do realize this is porn for women, right?
Yes. Isn't that chore play? Have you guys heard of that? It's like all over. It's called like
chore play.
I heard it on the podcast, actually. It's like chore play. There was this sex therapist, and she was like, that's a thing for women. It's when they see men doing the chores that turns them on. There we go.
I think that sex therapist is the most brilliant woman who ever lived, because that is just a way of getting men to do chores.
Yeah.
With the idea you might get sex out.
Yeah. Throw the trash, line the bin, do my dishes.
Ooh, so sexy, baby.
So hot.
So hot. So hot.
What about you two? What's a height? I feel like you've mentioned 6'1" a lot, or height. What do you feel about that?
I feel like I like to be carried. That's why I want them to be tall.
No.
So that's why the 6'1". I still look for the 6'1", but I have dated some short people. They cannot be shorter than me because I am 5'2", and anybody shorter than me, it's probably illegal, and they're a kid. So they have to be taller.
We'll get to that in a minute, T.
Yeah. So they have to be taller than me, but they also have to look like they can defend me. Like if I am the one who's gonna defend you, then we have,
Yeah.
I don't know that. That's why. I think that's why.
I think that I've always wanted the energy of, I don't want you to get into a bar fight. I'm not looking for you to be that guy. I am looking for you to be able to win the bar fight if somebody pushed you into it. So like,
yes.
I don't want you to be the guy who starts trouble, but I want you to be able to be the guy who finishes it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So no, it's not been a thing so much. But yeah, they need to be just slightly taller than me. And I think I'm more about the personality now, so and values. So
Yeah.
You sound disappointed in that, T. You're like, I guess I'm into personality now.
I mean, no, but to Jasmine's point, I have met people who are 6 feet and just they don't have personality because all they have is the height and the good looks. It's like, all right, people, where is the personality? Like, can
Yeah.
we have more of that?
Yeah. I know. I want somebody who it looks like I'm going to have fun with. Like,
Yeah.
you seem like you're a good time, sir. You seem fun.
Right. Because when
Yeah.
you're 100, it doesn't matter how tall he is. I feel like there's this matchmaker online who always would say that because a lot of women want tall. Like it's like a very common thing, right? She was like, it doesn't matter. You're going to be 100. You're both going to be in walkers, and nobody cares how tall you are. And it's true. And it's again, if that's your thing and it's your must-have value, and you also bring it, I think that's the other thing. That was the last part of the 100 thing. It's like write the 100 things, write the 5 and now be those 5 because you are what you attract. I forgot that last piece. And I was like, well, I'm 5'1", so I'm never going to be tall. So I think that was on my list for sure, but it definitely fell off pretty quickly because I was like, okay, this isn't,
Like there are things you can change and there are things you cannot change. I can't change somebody's body type and I can't change their height and I
Yeah.
can't change those things, right? So it's unfair to put guys or even women to that standard.
Yeah.
Like if I cannot change physically something about you, then that shouldn't be such a big huge deal breaker, I think.
So, what about age? How young is too young for you? How old is too old? And we'll start with the young part because, and T, we've talked about this before. And Jess, I think we've talked about this before too. But I noticed that when I turned 40 on the apps and I took off my age filters, it was just a sea of 25-year-old men. The only people who were contacting me were these 25-year-old guys who were looking for fun. And I'm like, when did this happen? All of a sudden, it's just like, I'm on MILF Island and this is what's going on. But yeah, how young is too young?
For me, I dated a 28-year-old when I was turning 40, but he was very mature. So I would say he was an outlier because most 28 not very mature. But he was lovely. We're still friends, and he was just like, I was like, wow, 28-year-old, I love this. And there's something about that energy. And I think sometimes when you're in your 40s, you're just like, I want to just be home and I want to be cozy and I don't want to go out and I don't want to do stuff. And not every day, but 28-year-olds, it's every day I want to be out in these streets doing something. And there's something really exciting about that energy because I think I can hang with early 30-year-olds. I don't have a problem. And I can be in that demo and not feel like I'm 100 years old or something. So 32 to 47. Cut off.
Oh, all right. So I thought you would have gone higher because you're 43. So.
I know, it's weird. I don't want to date anyone older than 47. I'm like, they get really old and it's not for me. And I don't want that. I feel like I have a very young energy and a young vibe.
You do.
I feel like Ivan is 47, but he A, doesn't look 47, B, has a young energy. Like he wants to go out, he wants to do stuff. And I'm like,
He dances.
he loves to dance. Yeah. And he like just doesn't look his age. And I feel like that if you look what I perceive to be in their close to 50s, I don't know if I would probably not be attracted to him because I'd be like, you're like an old person, which is crazy. It's not true. I feel like I have a friend who's 50 who's thriving. He just went to Burning Man. He's so cool. But it's more of that 5'1", like 6'1" thing for me. It's in my brain. It's 47 is my cutoff. But who knows? George Clooney's like in his 60s. Am I going to say no? No.
Yeah, but George Clooney's George Clooney. Yeah. Do you ever remember dreams that you've had just ages ago and for some reason they stick in your mind? I want to say it had to have been 10 years ago. I had a dream where I was in the dream and I was on a date with Jack Nicholson. And in the dream, I was saying to myself, am I going to sleep with Jack Nicholson on this date? And I was like, on the one hand, he's really old. On the other hand, he's Jack Nicholson. I was like, I'm probably going to sleep with him. So I feel like that's similar. Like,
Fair.
there's just certain guys where you're like, yeah, but he's so and so. So all right.
That's fair. Okay, maybe I'll go up to 48. Okay. 32 to 48.
Oh, wow. A whole 1 year. Wow.
That's my limit, guys. That's my limit.
Don't get crazy, Jasmine. All right, T, what are your limits?
Well, I have gone out on a couple of dates with a 27-year-old, also very mature, but I still kind of felt weird about the age thing. Right now, my threshold is 35-ish. Before it was 5 below, 5 above, but now I feel like I am 8 or 10 below and maybe 5 above. And the reason is because I feel like the guys that I'm meeting, even in the 40s or the 50s, and I think it just progressively gets worse, is they start to become homebodies, and I don't think I want to be with a homebody.
Yeah.
Like, do I want them to be out and about all the time? No. But I don't want a homebody. So I feel like the older the threshold is, like if I go 55, I'm just gonna find someone who doesn't like the same things that I do, and I could be wrong. But yeah, right now it's 8 or 10 below and maybe 5 above. Because there are some really good looking 50-year-old men. And I was like, oh, hello.
That's true.
the 5 o'clock walk on Madison Avenue.
Yeah, okay. So I'm with you guys. I think, well, Tim is 56 and he's still a spry guy. I think it really depends. When you're getting older, I think, to your point, are they a homebody? Do they want to do things? To me, that it's less about the actual number, the actual age, and more about just their personality in that way. I don't mind going up if they're somebody who still really wants to go and do things. The younger side of things, for me, if I'm just looking to have a good time, I'll go 28. Like, it's fine. Go out a few dates. We'll have some fun. As long as you're really hot, and if the things that come out of your mouth are dumb, I can ignore them because you're super hot. But
now you see why the guys are looking for the young girls.
Yeah. Well, but again, if that's the intention, fine, I totally get it. But if I was looking to date somebody, like actually date, I think my youngest would be probably 35. I think, to still have enough in common. Okay. So you were talking about the 50 plus men, some of them who are really hot. I think we need to talk for a minute about the older men who are really doing it for us in like celebrity world.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I was never a Pierce Brosnan person. I know a lot of women loved Pierce. Never did much for me. I don't know if you have seen Pierce Brosnan lately.
No.
Okay, so
older.
he's in a new show called Mobland.
Oh yeah.
And he was just in a
Thursday Murder Club.
Thursday Murder Club, something like that. I am into old Pierce Brosnan.
Her.
He is looking hot. I'm like, hello, Pierce Brosnan. How are you?
He's handsome.
I
agree.
love Pierce Brosnan. Can we talk about Oscar Isaac, please? Because he is such a hottie.
Yeah,
He's a hottie. He's not that old, though. He's not like an older gentleman.
How old is he?
He's what, 5 years?
No, he's
How old is he?
46. I
That's
just
not
Googled
old.
it. That's not old. That's like our age. Oh wow, he
That's our age.
looks a little older. He looks more mature, I think. What's his name
He's
that
got the salt
everyone's
and pepper.
obsessed with? What's his name? He was in
Pedro.
Yeah,
Pedro.
he's very
Pedro Pascal.
cute.
Love him.
He
He's
is
very cute.
cute.
He's in his 50s. My niece loves him. And my brother-in-law gets really annoyed because he's like, Caroline, he's basically my age. And she's like, I don't care. He's hot.
He's hot.
He's hot. I mean, I've met Tom Cruise. I know he has a lot of like weird things going on, but like people
I
would
love
judge.
Tom
I
Cruise,
love
too.
him.
Yeah.
And he's really
I love
attractive.
him.
When I watch the example of like he's very short and still many women find him attractive, including me. Two or AB, like the fact that he does his own stunts is really hot. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
this is fucking cool, man. Everybody else is so lame. And you do like 3 movies. You do Mission Impossible, you did Top Gun, you barely do anything else. And you're just like, You're a true movie star. We don't have a lot of those anymore, and there's something really attractive about that.
Add me at hello.
Brad Pitt, come on.
Brad Pitt's still hot.
He's
still hot.
Okay. He's just not my type.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
I have like, it's like random, but you guys, Steve Carell now these days. It's just
Oh,
he has a salt
yes.
and
Did you
pepper
see?
hair and a beard. I think he is so good looking. I just love The Office.
You know who? Yeah, I think these are the kind of guys like you. They're older. You could have a conversation with them. Like Jon Stewart still is hot for me.
Oh, he's hot. I think he's so hot.
I mean, he's not hot for me, but like I'm hot for him.
Oh,
you don't know, T. He could be hot for you. He's going to see this and he's going to be like, her.
I mean, he's 60.
yeah.
Really?
He's in his 60s, yeah.
Okay, I guess
Oh, yeah.
I maybe have to rethink my age limit because I think all of these men are very attractive. Like they're all in their 60s.
I love this, Jazz.
Right, so we're all changing our brackets now from 35 to 60.
If you still got the spring in your
Together.
step.
Yeah.
I mean, how old is Idris Elba? And he's still
Oh my
DJs.
god, he's
I mean,
hot.
I love him.
How come nobody said
Wow.
his name? Oh my god, yes.
He's 53. Okay, on the young side. Like, I don't find Timothy Chalamet good looking. Like, he seems like a child. I'm like, I don't think I feel comfortable
Yeah.
liking you. Justin Bieber, I think he's attractive. I think he's
No.
very hot.
No.
But I mean,
I never thought
No.
Justin Bieber was attractive.
oh, I think he's
No.
so cute with the beard and like the whatever. Zayn Mullet.
Oh, Zayn, yeah.
Oh, Zayn. Are we going like younger? Or are we
Okay.
going like our age younger?
Either or.
No, like younger. I do like some Harry Styles. I'm not gonna lie.
He's handsome. He's
Yes.
a rock star, and that's really hot.
Yeah. I like some Harry Styles. I'm trying to no, Timothy Chalamet definitely doesn't do it for me. I'm trying to think of who some of like the other popular younger actors are.
He's like our age, though. The guy, he's like blonde. He was in that movie with the Sydney Sweeney girl recently.
Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Oh,
Glenn
Glenn
Powell
Powell.
is-
Yeah,
also-
he's our
yeah.
age. Morgan Spector. Do you guys watch Gilded Age? He is hot.
Oh wait, is he the one who plays the Vanderbilt guy?
Yes.
Oh, he's hot. Yes,
that
I
is
like
hot.
him.
44.
You know what I really like about Pierce Brosnan, which is probably Pierce Brosnan, Pedro Pascal, Oscar Isaac. I think this is
Oscar.
what I'm actually looking for in my soft values when it comes to dating. Have you just seen how they look at their women?
Yeah.
Like just that.
I like that a lot.
That is what I'm
It
looking
is.
for.
I
Mhm.
agree.
I think now it's just called the Travis Kelce effect, I think is what it is. And let me say, God bless those Kelce brothers. I mean, I don't think they quite understand how much they are setting an example for young men. And quite frankly, I think how much they mean to women our age. The fact that these men can exist and be so proud of their wives and what their wives are doing or fiancés, but just be so secure in themselves and be able to put that out there. I don't think they quite grasp how groundbreaking that is, sadly. But I love the Kelce brothers. I hope I never find out anything.
I
bad
know.
Please, this is my plea to the Kelce brothers. Don't turn out to be assholes.
I know. Be
Please.
the way we think you are. No, it's
Yes.
true. Because it's like they're macho, masculine, stereotypically masculine. I mean, they're literally football players. But when they look at their
Yeah.
partners and when they talk about how proud they are of them, it's like, what? You don't have to be like those. What's that gross guy that like men love? He's bald. He was excommunicated. And,
Andrew Tate?
yeah. Like, you don't have to
The
be
Andrew
that.
Tate
But a lot
guy.
of the young boys, I feel like I've been hearing, are like really into that. But now you have this champion football player who's like, I love my girlfriend or fiance, and she's amazing. She's an athlete. Like, it's so cool. It's so sweet.
I think that's awesome and sweet. I also think the other side of it is sweet too with Jason Kelce and his wife. Because when you
Yeah.
think about it, she's been staying home and raising their kids while he was out being a football player. And in anything that I've seen, he recognizes the value of that. I don't think he diminishes that. And I think that's important as well, is that just because for a while she didn't have a career doesn't mean that she wasn't doing really valuable work in their home. And now that she's out, she's got a podcast and she's doing other things. Like, he's supportive of that. So I think it's, again, I think it's this really great example of how men can be supportive of their wives and their partners, no matter what kind of path that they've taken in their lives, and that both of those things are incredibly valuable and important. Again, please, Jason, Travis, Kelsey, don't be assholes. Don't turn out to be assholes one day.
I know.
All right. Well, we've been chatting for a while. Any other celebrities? Any other celebrities we want to throw in the ring in terms of the hot, not hot?
The Summer I Turned Pretty. I don't know if either of you guys watched that, but the older brother is hot. Like, while we TikTok and Instagram, it's like the reason millennial women are like, oh my God, is because he looks like Leonardo DiCaprio looked when we were kids, like in Titanic.
Okay.
And like, it's like he has that 90s heartthrob look. And it's like, I feel weird being like, he's so hot because he's in high school, college or something.
I don't know how young he is. The guy who's in Normal People, Paul
Mescal?
Is it Paul Mescal?
Yeah.
Can I just say we're having the most old person talk about things? I don't know, the guy who was in The Thing. What's his name?
Yeah.
You know the what I'm talking about.
We got it, right?
Like the VMAs, right?
That's how it
I
is.
was like, who are these people? I don't know any of these singers aside from like Ariana Grande.
Yeah. You know who I think is cute though? Who's I think also still young is Bad Bunny. He
is really handsome.
He is the balance of, I think he's really handsome, and I also think he would be really fun. I think he probably has a good personality, and like you'd have like a fun time with him.
And he feels like he says good values too, because he's doing all his concerts in Puerto Rico to give back to his community. Yeah. That's very hot. Well, how old is he? Bad Bunny age. I don't think. 31. I mean,
all right, so not super young.
Not too bad. Mine was 32. I mean, he's pretty close. I can
32.
I'll extend it to 31 to 49.
There we go.
49.
Yeah.
Now we've gone 2 up.
2 years.
2. We're just going to wear Jasmine down. Eventually, she's going to be
like
60.
Done.
Well, this has been fantastic. We've been jabbering on for for a while now. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been awesome. I can't wait to have you back and we can talk about other things too. I've got plenty of other topics queued up that I feel like we would be ripe for. But thank you guys so much. For everybody who's been listening, send us your hot men. Send us who you think we have missed in the hot or not, older, younger man edition. And we will see you guys all next time.